The Eagles draft is officially over, and despite the hype around the 8 newest birds, Philadelphia was not done this morning, adding 6 new undrafted free agents, one of which I think can push to make this roster. The Eagles are also bringing in the former fastest wide receiver alive for a rookie tryout, and Howie Roseman defended adamantly the drafting of Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. This weekend's draft was one for the ages. I mean, everyone keeps saying that Philadelphia got absolute steals up and down rounds 1 all the way through round 6, but still, that doesn't stop the Eagles from signing some very interesting undrafted free agents while also bringing in a familiar face to compete at rookie minicamp. And we'll get to those, but first, I think the Jeremiah Trotter Jr. pick might be the most polarizing from the weekend, as I've seen a lot of people in my comment section absolutely loving the pick, and still some of you absolutely hating the pick and saying he was only taken because of the name Trotter on the back of his jersey. Now, I like the pick. I mentioned it yesterday, but still, he is undersized, and I get the fact that there are some optics out there that Philadelphia only took him because it makes for a good story, the fan base really wanted him, and maybe he makes the roster, maybe he doesn't. Still, though, I think Howie Roseman did an excellent job at his press conference yesterday, where he was asked this exact question: did you draft Jeremiah Trotter Jr. because of the name on the back of the jersey? And he gave a very adamant dispute of that pretty crazy claim.
Yeah, I think, one, you got to stick to your board, so we can't make up a grade on any player just because we like them. I make a joke a lot of time, the best person I know in the world is my wife, and I don't want her playing linebacker for us either. So I think for us, at the end of the day, you have to have a certain skill set to play at any position in the National Football League. And so we're looking for a skill set, and we're drafting players based on a skill set. So as much as, you like those stories, and it's a great story without the ending, we just started that story. But it's got to be a skill set, and he's got a skill set, and that's why we drafted him. He's got mentality, that's why we drafted him, and we're looking forward to him being his own person, not having to walk in anyone's footsteps, but creating his own legacy.
Now, I think Trotter can play, and I think the Eagles scouting department would agree with that. The big thing, though, to take away from the Trotter draft pick, especially if you're kind of anti it and you feel like it was more of a bone thrown to a former Eagle legend, Philadelphia didn't take him in round 3. If you would have taken Jeremiah Trotter in round 3, it's way too early. But they waited. They kept trading back and trading back and trading back. They got extra picks this past season. They got offensive linemen, and they still took Trotter Jr. at a point in the draft where I'm very comfortable. If he turns out, it's a steal. If he doesn't work out, then it's no harm, no foul. Oh, and I'll challenge any of the Trotter Jr. haters in the comment section to watch the video of him getting the call that he's officially becoming an Eagle and not smiling just a little bit. This is great.
All right, hey, Jeremiah Trotter.
Trotter.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
It's Howie Roseman.
Nice to be talking to you.
What are you thinking, man? You think we should trade up and take you right here? That'd be pretty cool?
That'd be pretty cool. I'd love that.
Yeah, you're an Eagle, brother. Just like it's meant to be. Right where you're back home, brother. Proud of you.
I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Jeremiah.
Hello.
How you doing? It's Coach Sirianni.
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Hey, congrats, man.
Jeremiah, how old were you when I first met you?
I'm
Two?
sure I was
Two?
young.
3?
Yeah.
4? Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Just really huge congrats. Congrats to your dad. And I loved your mother, so.
Thank you.
Now, in case you missed it yesterday, I put out a challenge. Help me get to 50,000 subs on this channel by my wedding day, which is this coming Friday. Pretty crazy. If we do, I'll go ahead and give away an Eagles jersey of your choice, preferably a rookie jersey, Quinyon, Mitchell, Cooper, DeJean, to one lucky subscriber. We've gotten almost 700 subscribers in the past 12 hours. We're almost to 49,000 subs. I think we can hit 50K. A couple more days to do it. Hit that sub button for your chance to go ahead and win the Eagles jersey. Now, the Eagles began this Sunday morning by adding to their undrafted free agent and rookie camp invite roster, which, by the way, all rookies will report to camp on May 3rd. That's the day of my wedding. It's this coming week, so we're going to get our first look at this class pretty darn soon, working out, putting on their helmets, and getting on the football field. But the one rookie minicamp invite that's grabbing a lot of headlines this morning, it's 28-year-old former fastest NFL Combine participant and recently retired wide receiver John Ross. Now, you remember John Ross because he broke the NFL Combine being the fastest wide receiver for a very long time before Xavier Worthy broke it this past season. But still, Ross was selected then 9th overall by the Bengals in 2017, and you know the rest, it never really worked out. Now, since then, he last played for the Giants in 2021 before spending 2023 with the Chiefs, where he was kind of on their roster in the offseason before retiring right before training camp. Ross has now been invited to participate in the Eagles rookie camp, where he gets a chance to showcase his skills and speed if he still has it. It's hard to believe he's going to make the roster. It's a very long stretch. I mean, a rookie minicamp invite for a 28-year-old former first-round draft pick doesn't really mean the Eagles are that high on him, but still, come on in. Let's see how you look against the other rookie invites, and if he pops, he at least gets a training camp invite, and hey, anything's possible. Now, when it comes to the actual signed undrafted free agents, Howie did admit that this will be a smaller class. Right now, we only have 6. We're probably going to get 7 signings overall, noting that most of the players that were signed to future contracts last season, like Albert O, are kind of taking the place of what would have been a bigger UDFA class. Still, though, there are some intriguing names, with Baylor's defensive lineman Gabe Hall leading the class. Now, I did go to Baylor, a little bit of a bias here, but on a very bad Baylor football team, Hall was kind of the stud of that defense and really impressed during the Senior Bowl. Many kind of expected him to be a day 3 pick due to his impressive 3-technique pass rushing skills, but sadly, he did slide out of the entire draft, meaning he hit the open free agent market and signed with Philadelphia. And like Hall, the rest of the UDFAs have a very long shot to go ahead and make the roster. We know that. UDFAs are not always guaranteed to be superstars. They're not a Boston Scott in every single class, but if there was one of these undrafted guys who I think can push to make the roster, it would be Hall, because the Eagles need depth at defensive tackle, and he really has the NFL technique that could make him at least a depth piece on that chart. Now, another interesting UDFA signing is Georgia running back Kendall Milton, who has the build of a running back, but as PFN noted in their article this morning, he certainly flashed and has that exceptional potential during his final 2 years at Georgia, with an incredibly efficient 43 carries of 10-plus yards on just 207 rushing attempts, but his modest 1,955 total yards and 24 touchdowns likely left fans and NFL scouts want to see a bit more production from Milton during his days as a Bulldog. I think the fact they spent a 4th-round draft pick on Clemson running back Will Shipley, who, by the way, I'm starting to kind of watch more film on this guy, and I'm liking the pick more and more as the hours go on, but a chance to actually make the running back roster for a guy like Milton is going to be a long shot. UDFAs will likely be in the practice squad, and that's where I see Milton going unless he just explodes during camp. Now, the other interesting signing was Tennessee tight end McCallan Castles, and he was not invited to the NFL Scouting Combine, but did have a very impressive Tennessee Pro Day, which gave him some juice to be a potential day 3 pick leading up to the draft, but he was not selected out of the 257 picks, but ended up making more money as a UDFA, as he apparently, according to multiple reports, inked with Philadelphia for $230,000 in guaranteed money and a $30,000 signing bonus. And he was productive. 28 games as a starter, 2-time all-conference selection, and 2+ seasons at UC Davis, bet on himself, making the jump to college football subdivision in the SEC, and rounding out his game the next level at Tennessee. Now, the rest of the UDFA list includes Maryland offensive tackle, a Howard tackle, Anim Dankwah, as they say his last name, and LSU safety Andre Sam. And I like the class. I mean, you can't argue with the class because they're UDFAs. We're not expecting them to be Tom Brady day 1, but every single year I feel like Philadelphia Eagle fans find some UDFA that they lock onto, like Jalen Hasselwood this past season, and go, he's going to be the star of this UDFA class, and there's a lot less Boston Scott than you would believe, and so time will tell. If I had to pick one, it's the Baylor defensive tackle Hall, who I would keep an eye on at least for the rookie minicamp this coming weekend. And the signings aren't done. I mean, they can sign more people in the coming days, and so obviously we'll update that on tomorrow's show. Still, though, for everyone who enjoyed yesterday watching Quinyon Mitchell arrive at the NovaCare complex, let's conclude with Cooper DeJean arriving and getting his tour of his new Philadelphia home. Now, I'm guaranteed to do a show tomorrow. I then fly back to Texas to kind of begin the wedding week processions on Tuesday. Gonna try to do as many shows as possible. Be sure to subscribe. I'll keep you updated if they sign anybody else. I'm Thomas Mott. It's been a fun draft weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed the coverage. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.